So for today's video, I'm going to teach you on how to design a solar PV system. So step 1 is yung load computation. So in load computation, we need to list down all the appliances na gagamitin natin for solar setup, wattage nun, ilang oras yung gagamitin natin at ilang appliances yung gagamitin natin. So in order for us to understand, i-label natin yan. Gagawa tayo ng table, tapos i-label natin. So for example, for this sample problem, we have a sample appliances here, LED bulb, fluorescent lamp, laptop, at saka fan. Ang gagawin natin is hahanapin natin yung wattage for each of these appliances. So meron tayong sample wattage dyan, 5 watts for LED bulb, 12 watts for fluorescent lamp, 65 for laptop, 70 watts for fan. Hours per day, ilang oras yung gagamitin yung appliances na yan per day. So meron tayong sample oras, 5 hours for LED bulb, 5 for fluorescent lamp, 3 hours for laptop, 7 hours for fan. Quantity, let's say for LED bulb, ilang LED bulb kayo meron. So yan yung sample, 5 LED bulb, 2 fluorescent lamp, isang laptop, at saka isang fan. And after nun, we need to get the total energy consumption. So, sa pagkuha ng total energy consumption is multiply lang natin yung wattage, hours per day, at saka yung quantity, we'll get the watt hour per day. So, for example, we have the LED bulb, multiply lang natin yung 5 times 5 times 5, we get 125. As well as sa fluorescent lamp, laptop, tsaka yung sa fan. For total energy consumption, add lang natin lahat ito. So makukuha natin is 930 watt hour. So that will be our load computation. So ito yung magiging reference natin for designing a solar PV system. So, but wait, don't forget to add a system loss percentage. So ano ba yung system loss? So yan yung definition ng system loss. And why do we need to add the system loss? So hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon, na-optimize natin yung performance ng components. So lahat ng components may losses. So in order for us to meet the required total energy consumption, so we need to add an allowance, no? Yun yung system loss na to. So typically, based on research, yung system loss natin is around 35%. So, constant yan siya. So, ang gagawin natin, add lang natin sa total energy consumption natin na 930 watt hour. Magkikita tayong 35% of 930. So, multiply muna natin to. Magkukuha natin is 325.5. Add natin sa 930. Then, ito na yung magiging reference natin, 1,255.5 watt hour for our next step. Step 2, battery needed. So, before choosing or computing a battery bank, so we need to understand yung days of autonomy. I already discussed about days of autonomy. So, for the sample problem natin is yung days of autonomy natin is 1 day. So, ang gagawin natin is just multiply the days of autonomy doon sa total energy consumption natin. So, dito sa sample natin is 1 day lang. So, that is why we need to multiply 1 day lang. Kapag 2 days naman yung days of autonomy natin, just multiply it by 2. 3 days naman, multiply it by 3. So, yan yung magiging total energy consumption natin plus yung days of autonomy. After natin ma-multiply yung days of autonomy, choose what battery type yung kailangan mo. So, meron tayong dalawang klase, lithium-ion or lead-acid. So, for this example, we're going to use lead-acid. So, since lead-acid battery yung ginamit natin, don't forget that the depth of discharge of lead-acid is around 50%. That is why we need to multiply the energy consumption by 2. Ayan. Para at least 50% lang yung gagamitin natin sa battery, no? Hindi masasagad yung capacity ng battery na yun. So, we have 2,511 watt hour. So, after natin ma-multiply, divide it to its system volt. Yung system volt, yun yung voltahe ng battery na you pick. Whether you're going to use 12 volts, 24 volts, 48 volts. So, depende na yun sa inyo or depende sa sample problem natin. So, for this sample problem, we're going to use 12 volts na battery. So, divide lang natin ng 12 volts. Makukuha natin yung capacity ng battery natin, which is around 209.25 amp hour. So, that will be our battery, no? Lead acid na 12 volts, 209.25 amp hour. So, since wala namang 209.25 amp hour na battery available sa market, we're going to look na available dun sa market, which is higher than that. So, which is, meron tayong 250 amp hour. So, yan yung magiging battery natin. Step 3 will be our solar panel needed. So, after natin magkuha yung battery, so, yun yung magiging reference natin para sa pagkuha ng or choosing a solar panel. So, battery natin kanina is 12 volt na 250 amp hour. Kunin lang natin yung total wattage nito, which is itong formula. So, 12 volts times 250 amp hour, makukuha natin is 3,000 watt hour. So, since lead acid yung ginamit natin, divide lang natin by 50%. So, yan. We get 1,500 watt hour. So, if you're just going to compare this 1,500 watt hour sa total energy consumption natin, so pasok pa rin dito, no? So, which is tama yung computation natin. Then, para makuha natin yung solar panel, don't forget the peaks and hours. So, I already discussed it last meeting, wherein sa Philippines, around 3.5 to 4.9 hours yung peaks and hours natin. So, we're just going to use yung pinakamababa, which is 3.5 hours. Ang gagawin natin is, i-divide lang natin sa 1.5. So, makakancel yung oras or hours, at titira is watts. And that will be our solar panel wattage. Yan. So, since wala namang available na 428.57 watts sa market, so we're going to choose yung 500 watts. Yan. Mas mataas doon. Hindi pa pwede na mas mababa. Dapat mas mataas doon. Whether kung mataas yung difference ng computation sa available sa market. So, kapag wala namang available, for example, walang available na 500 watts sa market, meron lang 100 watts. So, ang gagawin natin is, we're just going to use 5 pieces of 100 watts solar panel. So, para maging 500 watts siya, connected in series. Ayan. Next will be solar charge controller. Ayan. Sa pagpili ng solar charge controller, so meron tayong dalawang klase, PWM at MPPT. Pulse width modulation, maximum power point tracking. So I already discussed it, which is yung PWM. Choosing a PWM, dapat yung battery voltage is equal to the nominal voltage of solar panel. While yung maximum power point tracking naman, pwede mataas yung nominal voltage ng panel compare sa battery voltage. So, paano ba natin makuha yung nominal voltage ng panel? So, using this table. So, compare lang natin yung BOC at saka BMP na magkikita sa specification sa likod ng solar panel. Compare lang natin, tapos makukuha natin yung nominal voltage. Para mas maintindihan natin yan, we have an example of solar panel spec dito, which is 100 watts 5 dB mono panel. So, tignan natin yung BMP at saka BOC, where is BMP around 18.50, while BOC naman is around 22.40. So, kapag if we're just going to compare sa table natin, so dito siya, wherein yung nominal voltage of that panel is 12 volts. So, pasok yung PWM sa solar charge controller needed natin, no? Yan. Kasi yung nominal voltage 12 volts, battery voltage natin is 12 volts. So, we use PWM. So, for solar charge controller computation, for PWM, ang gagawin lang natin is kukunin natin yung ISC na makikita natin sa panel, multiply by number of string times 125. So, for example, meron tayong panel dito na 100 watts, 5 dB mono panel. Kukunin natin yung ISC, which is 5.99, multiply sa 5. Bakit 5? Kasi 5 pieces of 100 watts kanina yung panel na gagamitin natin for this sample problem, no? Times safety factor na 1.25. So, always yan, constant yan yung safety factor 1.25. We get 37.43 ampere. So, since wala namang 37.43 na ampere na available sa market, we go for 40 amp of PWM. So, that will be our solar charge controller. So, how about naman if MPPT? Kung gusto nyo mag-MPPT. So, yung formula lang for MPPT is total wattage of panel divided by nominal voltage of battery. So, for example, for this same problem, so meron tayong total wattage of panel which is 500 watts. Divide lang natin sa battery voltage which is 12 volts. So, MPPT will be 41.66 ampere, which is wala naman yan sa market. So, around 45 amp of MPPT. Yan. So, reminder, in selecting a charge controller, so mas mainam talaga na pupunta tayo sa manual ng charge controller, no? Titingnan muna natin yung spec ng solar charge controller before selecting a specific na solar charge controller. So, meron tayong sample dito ng spec ng MPPT. So, may makikita tayo. One thing na tinitignan talaga natin is ito, yung maximum solar input voltage. So, which is yung 100 volts lang. So, ibig sabihin yan, ito lang yung voltahe na pupwede dito sa charge controller na to. So, itong input na voltage is ito yung total BOC of that panel. So, para mas maintindihan natin, so same problem tayo. So, for example, we have a 100 watts na 5 dB mono panel kanina. Tapos, we're going to connect it into a series. So, 5 yan, no? So, ang mangyayari is may makukuha tayong BOC. Add lang natin to ng 5 times. May makukuha tayong total BOC na 112 volts. If we're going to compare it dito using this MPPT na charge controller, hindi siya pasok sa max solar input voltage. So, dapat nasa 100 volts or below dito. So, kapag ito yung gagamitin nating solar charge controller, so hindi pa pwede to. Because ito yung total BOC natin ng 112. Okay? So, reminder lang in selecting a charge controller. Another thing also is tinitignan natin yung max photovoltaic system input power or yung total wattage. So same problem, if we're going to use this panel, hindi din siya pasok dito. Kasi itong panel na to, kinuha natin base sa battery na 12 volts. 12 volts lang, wherein yung input power na for 12 volts is around 260 lang. So, wherein dito kasi sa computation natin 500 watts. So, hindi siya pasok dito. Pwera na lang if you're going to use a 24 volts na battery. So, 520 watts yung maximum input power. So hindi pa rin siya pasok, no? It's either you're going to look for another solar charge controller na pasok yung BOC, at the same time pasok din yung total wattage ng panel natin. So lastly, we have the inverter needed. So in inverter naman is i-add lang natin yung lahat ng wattage ng appliances natin. So but take note, if there is an inductive load, multiply it by 3. So anong ibig sabihin nito? So inductive load, kapag may mga motor sa appliances nyo. So sample ng mga may motor na appliances, such things like fans, refrigerator, aircon. Yan. Yung inductive load kasi, mataas yung starting current niyan within 3 to 10 seconds. So that is why we need to multiply it by 3 para at least may allowance tayo sa surge current na yan. No? So sa sample appliances natin, we have fan. So ang gagawin natin is i-multiply lang natin by 3 yung wattage niya. So instead of 70, magiging 210 siya. Then add natin, that will be our total wattage, 292 watts. After natin ma-add lahat ng wattage ng appliances, mag-add tayo ng 20% efficiency allowance for our inverter para at least hindi natin masasagad yung paggamit ng inverter, no? So, ang mangyayari is 20% of 292, makukuha natin is 350.4 watts. So, since walang 350.4 watts na inverter, so kukunin natin yung mas mataas doon, which is, ito yung available sa market, 400 watts. So, but wait. So, ano ba yung klase ng inverter yung gagamitin natin? So, meron tayong dalawang klase ng inverter, such as modified sine wave na inverter at saka pure sine wave. So, ano yung kaibahan nilang dalawa? So, yung modified sine wave, hindi siya efficient kapag may inductive load sa appliances natin. So, in conclusion, yung pure sine wave yung gagamitin natin. Yan. So, we need to state it dito sa sagot natin, which is 400 watts of PSW. So, to summarize, based on our load computation na ginawa natin, so ito yung mga components na kailangan natin. So, isang 12 volts na 250 amp hour of lead acid battery, 5 pieces of 100 watts solar panel, 40 amps of PWM solar charge controller, and 400 watts of PSW.